It's Diana again. How y'all doing tonight? Well, tonight, how do you like my yellow dress? I like this dress because it reminds me of a Diana von Furstenberg dress that I owned back in the 70s. One of my few true designer dresses. It wrapped like this in the front and it was bright yellow. So, that and wearing my Halston that I ordered makes me feel young again. So I wanted to talk a little bit about my story. I hope y'all know that I'm just touching bases with hopefully every major point in my life. If I ever go back and get this done in book form, of course I'll go into a lot more details, a lot more sorted facts that maybe I could write and couldn't actually speak. Because there are some things that happened in my life that would be embarrassing. But for the fact that for prosperity, for the future, for when I'm gone, my life will be there for others to know about. It might inspire that one person to live a happy life, because I have lived a happy life. I've basically done everything I've ever wanted to do. So I'm here to say I'm not a rich person in monetary means, but I am a rich person in my memories, the things that I've done, the people I've associated with. I've had a good life. I've had a happy life. And I've had a much happier life after I transitioned than I ever had before. So I guess I'm here to say, it does get better. You can be happy. And it just takes being your authentic self, as they're calling it these days. Just be who you are. Be your truth, whatever that is. So, I have people who like to make fun of me because of the fact that I am bipolar and I do have Asperger's syndrome, which it is a form of autism, which is a form of mental retardation. I have a hard time in public communicating with people, and even here I have a hard time really being able to keep up with the conversation without forgetting what I'm supposed to be saying or staying on point. And that has a lot to do with my Asperger's syndrome. So, but I'm here to tell you, if there's one person out there that is high-functioning, mentally handicapped, mental retardation, this means you can still live your truth. You can still live your life. You don't have to say, because of that, I've got to live unhappy for the rest of my life. That doesn't mean that. That means you will have some things in life that will hold you back. There will be things you might have wanted to do in your life that maybe you can't succeed in. But there's a lot of things that you can, a lot of happiness that you can have in your life. I think the worst part of it is being smart enough to know what you want in life and then not having the ability to actually achieve it. I think that is the hardest part of having any kind of mental retardation, where you're smart enough to know what your problem is and what you can't do with your life. But you keep going. You keep going and you do the best you can and you grab what happiness you can out of life and you keep going. You don't let people make fun of you or laugh at you or hold you back in any way, you know? With my problem, there was also an intersex condition caused by the DES hormones that my mother was taking. That's DES, short for disocebestrol. And I have studied and found out that a lot of people who were born with DES poisoning also suffer from bipolar disorder and Asperger's syndrome. So it's just part of it, girls. It's just part of the life that we have to live. So don't let it set you back and think that you can't do what everybody else is doing because you have a disability on top of a disability on top of a disability. You just take care of it the best way you can. But don't let it define you as something that you can't do or something you can't take care of because you're not like everybody else. No, that's the first thing. We're not like everybody else. You know, there are a lot of people who, in my opinion, even though they were born just transgender without a actual diagnosis that would say that, you know, you're technically intersex. Everybody that's born with a transgender condition, they have some sort of intersex condition going on, whether it's something that they can medically find out about or not. Something happens when the mother is developing you in utero. Something happens, whether it's something the doctor gave your mother or whether it's just a spurt that your mother goes through with these hormones while she's developing you. Something happens within the brain that causes this condition. So we're all just normal. We're all just something that happened. I want to call it a birth defect, and some will argue with me and say, no, that it's not a birth defect. Well, I personally feel it is, and that's my opinion. So I feel like we all should have been born some other way, but we weren't. This is our situation. This is what we have to take care of, and we do it the best we can. So I want to wish everybody luck out there. And I'll be back again for another installment of Woman Once Removed, my life story. Bye-bye. If you hadn't already done so, what you need to do, you need to subscribe and hit the little bell so that you'll get a notification every time I put up something new. And leave me a comment, because I like to read comments. Alrighty, y'all.